So happy Saturday, and today is a very, very important day for me. It is lactate testing day. So lactate is nothing to do with babies and boobies.
No cows were hurt in this video.
Yeah, no cows were hurt in the making of this video. Lactate. It is the byproduct of anaerobic metabolism, and a simple lactate test, you can measure blood lactate levels while you're exercising to determine when you're exercising aerobically, when you're starting to shift over into using more anaerobic metabolism. And as an athlete who has previously suffered from aerobic deficiency syndrome, that threshold, that number, is very important to me. So I went out, and by went out, I mean shopped on the internet, as described by the Uphill Athlete, which I really love the book Training for the Uphill Athlete. I recommend it to a lot of paddlers because they train based on heart rate, which is something that paddlers have to do because pace is difficult for us with wind and tide and conditions. So in the absence of pace, we usually use heart rate, and to know which heart rates you are aerobic versus which heart rates you're starting to use more anaerobic metabolism, burn more glycogen as fuel instead of fat as fuel, all of that, increase your cortisol and increase, acidic byproducts that kind of break down the body. It's important, very important to know. So without further ado, I bought a lactate plus lactate meter, and we're gonna read through the training for the Uphill Athlete. They have a protocol on their website to determine your aerobic threshold using this lactate meter, and I'm going to see where mine lands. But first, let's we have to generate our own little protocol here. So
More stabby. Give me the stabby device.
okay, so
Oh,
yeah,
I want.
Corey gets to stab me and draw blood.
Multiple times.
Many times, actually. Because we don't know what we're doing yet, we're gonna read this. We're gonna practice stabbing me, and we're going to calibrate the machine.
Do I get to stab you?
Yes, you get to stab me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, so while he's getting the lance, it's a safety lancet that is it's sold at CVS, Walgreens, like all the generic pharmaceutical companies. You buy the little safety lancets for a glucose meter, commonly used for diabetes. This machine is the exact same, almost, except it does not measure the same thing as the blood glucose meters. This
The question is, do you want thin or micro thin? Hope you get thin.
This is gonna hurt, isn't it? So it looks like, according to the protocol, we're looking for a concentration of 2 millimoles per liter for blood lactate to define my aerobic threshold. However, it says that some literature suggests a concentration of as high as 2.5 millimoles per liter. So we shall see. So somewhere in there. We are not going to proceed to get an anaerobic threshold in this particular test because it's better determined by a field test, and they go into detail on why this isn't the best protocol for anaerobic threshold on their website. So if you're interested in that, maybe I'll put some notes down below. It says there's a scale of 1 to 5. Dial it up to 5.
Mine goes to 6.
You need to hit decent sized capillaries.
So like a vein?
Brace yourself. So some people opt to use...
Brace yourself.
The sample taker needs to stabilize something because the athlete is likely to be shaky. I don't think I'm a shaky athlete.
I thought you were supposed to be a low heart rate.
Yeah, this is a low heart rate. Why would I be shaky? Anyway, so you can choose between a finger poke and an ear poke. And we are not going to do finger pokes because I'm doing the test in the outrigger canoe. And in the outrigger canoe, my hands are going to be in the water while I'm paddling.
And the lake is gross.
And the lake is gross, so I don't want like actively bleeding poke holes. I don't want to poke that bacteria into my finger. Secondarily, it would water it down. It would be an issue. So we are definitely opting for the earlobe poke, thin skin, and highly vascularized.
Someone's got very small earlobes. There's gonna be a lot of pokes per square inch.
So we're gonna do a 15 to 20 minute warm up.
Yep.
And then take samples at the end of each 3 to 4 minute intensity stage. So I'm gonna up my heart rate.
So I have to warm up my poking finger.
Yes, I'm gonna up my heart rate by about 10 beats per minute for each stage. And it says start at a ridiculously easy effort because aerobic deficiency syndrome, people are gonna have a shockingly low aerobic threshold. Like you might be like literally crawling, feeling like you're doing nothing. And if you go out too fast, you're gonna blow right through that 2.5 even, so. So it says as aerobic metabolism ramps up,
That's good.
blood lactate actually begins to drop at the lower intensities during the warm-up. All right, so now we're gonna measure my resting blood lactate fasted. Intensity of the first stage, start out with a much lower heart rate than you think is necessary. I think I'm gonna start out at 118. Minimum of 3 intensity stages. We're just gonna go up until I'm like, been doing that for an hour. We're gonna stop after an hour.
So you probably don't, I mean, most people that know you know that you use your chest monitor.
Yes, oh yes.
These struggle,
Yeah.
I think they struggle.
I'm not gonna be using a wrist heart rate. So yeah, I'll be using my chest heart rate strap so that I have a very accurate gauge because I need to make sure that I don't increase my heart rate by more than 10 beats per minute per stage.
How long does it last for?
How long does what last for?
Your lactate levels, like how long do they take to drop off? What's your decay? What's your lactate decay?
We could measure that and it would give me a really interesting lactate clearing, like how efficient your body is at clearing lactate. I imagine that will be different for different people. Because if you're
Different locations.
well, you have different muscles. No, I think it's your whole body. Because a hypothesis that I actually have for me being a fast twitch versus a slow twitch athlete, some of my muscles, even though they demand more oxygen in stand up, so like if I'm standing up and I'm using all my bigger muscles that I use for deadlifting and back squatting, then they're requiring more oxygen and they're making me less efficient. But then when I sit in the canoe, then they're actually not, they're activated, but they're not actively generating a lot of energy and they're not using energy and oxygen and generating waste. I almost think that those bigger muscles act as a sink to eat up lactate. Like they almost are handling the lactate from the rest of my body.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's true. Please, if you're a scientist and you know the answer to that and that made any sense, please comment below. Because I am, yeah, like could my legs be clearing my lactate from my upper body because they're very good at, well, not clearing. When I say clearing, they're converting my lactate from my intense efforts, they're converting it to pyruvate, and then pyruvate is being used as my fuel, and I can go for a very long time. And then I'm gonna make a graph when this is all done. It'll look somewhat like this graph. All right, let's poke my ear, and then let's go paddle and test all this crap.
Poke it out. Quit cringing.
I'm scared of... That was it?
What's the microfins, baby?
I felt nothing.
Baby.
I felt absolutely nothing.
She never feels anything. 1. You got a 1. You're number 1.
Oh, I thought we were waiting for you to, okay, no, that's excellent.
What do you mean waiting for?
That's a good number.
I take your blood and I put it in the meter. She got a 1. She's number 1.
I'm 1. Okay, well that was excellent. That was fun. And it was painless.
If you're doing this for a friend, please wear gloves.
Yeah, we're married, so.
Probably a mask.
We're married, so it's okay.
Either way.
We don't have biohazard right now. All right, let's go test this on the water.
Looks like we're gonna be testing her right earlobe the entire time.
Right earlobe.
Right earlobe.
Chili.
Oh no, yes.
my warm up right now, just doing that little piddly bit, I was at exactly 118, which is where we want to be at for the warm up. So I'm coming back in 5, 10, 15, and then after the test at 15 minutes, I will pump it up to 128, and then I'll come back in 3 to 4 minutes, and then we'll bump it up to 138, and then I'll come back in 3 to 4 minutes, and then 148, 158, 168. Okay?
Okay.
Hovering right around 118, 117, 120. The maximum I'm hitting is 122, but as the protocol clearly states, it is better to come at it from underneath than it is to overshoot. I'm really nervous for this first reading. I mean, I ate a banana, but this is kind of like a moment of truth for real. Big two. Okay, good.
2.5.
No way. That's horrible.
2.5.
All right, well, I'm gonna do 128. Hopefully my blood's better this time. Oh my God, that was worse than I thought. Shit, guys. Just shit, that is so bad. Oh my God. That's disgustingly bad. I ate a banana. Blame the banana. I'm totally blaming the banana right now. Maybe my body just takes, I mean, it's gonna take a while for my body to rev up, right? My aerobic metabolism, I'm like a diesel engine. If this next reading is the same, this is how fast I'm gonna be training for a long time. Hi, dog kiss.
Oh, you're bleeding all over the place. What's your heart rate?
It's hovering around 122.
1.7.
Yes. My aerobic metabolism's kicking in. So I'm gonna do one more warm-up lap to make sure it's stable there. Yeah, it takes my aerobic metabolism a minute to turn on. Thank God. I was stressing so bad. Oh my God. Oh. Guys, I could have cried on that first reading. I'm not lying. Like, that was just, I thought this was gonna be, I mean, it would have been a very interesting point, which supports my choice to do a longer warm-up anytime I need my aerobic metabolism to turn on. So relieved. It's a beautiful day now. All right, moment of truth. We see if Blood-Lactate has stabilized during the warm-up.
New syringe, Lancet. Test number 3 coming up. Smoochy poochie.
Smoochies. Just keep stabbing the same spot.
Just keep stabbing.
Going.
What's the heart rate?
Same 120s.
Low 120.
Yeah, very low. So I'm gonna go 128 this time.
1.5.
Sick. That means that my aerobic metabolism is revving up the longer I go. So that's okay, but I'm still gonna jump it to 128 now.
She said low 120, so I'll say 121. So her lactate levels are actually going down. Don't know how banana is affecting this. It's exciting footage, lots of testing.
I'm so happy. Last time. Okay. This is next one, as long as that reads. Next one's 138 if it gets a reading. 1.5. Okay, good. I'm going up. 138. Okay. If it comes out,
What's the heart rate?
138. So the next one's 148. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to 148. I'm at 35:30 right now. All right, 148. I'm doing so much better than I thought. I have my Garmin heart rate alert set to 152. And I'm kissing 152.
Your ear is a bloody.
We'll stop bleeding when the test is done.
2.2.
Okay, good. All right, that sounds right. I'm gonna go with 158. I'm at 42 and a half. So do we go to 168 is the question.
Was this 150?
That was 158.
4.2.
Ooh, all right, we're over. Let's just see what happens. At 158?
Yeah, same heart rate.
Okay, we're gonna repeat that step.
On the got 6th or 7th test right now. 7 tests. We pretty much ranged from 118 during her warm up to about 158 was the last reading at 4.2, and so we're gonna do another reading at 158. This might be kind of like the threshold. Your threshold's normally around 3 according to literature. So yeah, we're gonna do that again, and that might be it for the morning. So exciting news. She's a little bit of a high reading at 118, but it might be just a little bit of catching it too early in the warm-up, but see how it goes.
It is really uncanny how much the wind affects you in cattle sports.
More blood.
And come back! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
She's like, I want to get in the boat.
She goes, Mommy, what's your blood lactate? My aerobic threshold is a lot higher than I thought.
So that was the second 158.
Yeah, that was the second round of 158.
3.4.
So it came down. I'm still, yeah, so I'm above my aerobic threshold, but I just want to see what I get at 168. Last one. I mean, I could honestly do that all day, but to me, that just means that my body is adept at clearing lactate, like in using it as fuel.
100 of these things this year.
It'll heal. Just a flesh wound.
4.3.
So what happened with the first 158, I hit like 160s, and I think that's what happened. So I think I blew past and had to come back down. And then the second 158 was 3 something. So I think that's the more accurate reading.
So we just took our last reading.
Last reading, 4.2?
3.
4.3.
168. Wiggly is very excited.
And I was technically at 170. So, but it's okay. So my aerobic threshold is in between 148 and 158, which is
Yeah. Makeout.
I just got kissed.
The makeout bandit.
I'm on dog level.
Congratulations, Mom. Here's a kissy.
Oh, thank you. My lactate testing is done. So based on the measurements given online, so 180 minus your age, and then you add 5 or subtract 5 to factor in recent fitness and or sickness to subtract or add to that base 180 minus your age. And that gives you an approximation of your aerobic threshold. I'm happy / sad to report that that is a very accurate measurement for me. 180 minus my age puts me at 146. And so I've added 5 in the past, so I thought my aerobic threshold was around 151. And this blood test, so sadly, I spent, $400 on a machine to tell me.
You hear that, folks? Save your money.
No, it's a cool piece of data. And if you're at a very top level, then it might behoove you to know more precisely. And or if you think that you're suffering from aerobic deficiency syndrome, this would be huge. Had that first round been like 2.5 at 120, like that would be detriment. Like that would be a really, really big finding. What we did find, however, that I wasn't intending to find, was that aerobic metabolism takes a minute to turn on, like to rev up. So most people are aware that it takes your aerobic metabolism a little while to rev up. So what we saw there, the numbers just supported that, you know, kind of reality. So you might benefit from the test to know how long it takes for your aerobic metabolism to cut on and, you know, really start contributing to your overall energy production. The other really cool thing that this highlighted was that if you don't warm up A, long enough, B, at the right intensity. So what could happen is if you hop on the water, hop in your boat, hop on your stand-up paddleboard, and you just kind of go out a little too hard, that's gonna go ahead and cue into your anaerobic metabolism. It's gonna build up lactate, and that system's gonna stay active and be contributing more to your overall energy production. Versus if you take the time to warm up slowly, you give that aerobic system time to really rev up and contribute to your energy production. And that's gonna be more anti-inflammatory. It doesn't lead to as much inflammation. It doesn't lead to as much cortisol. And if you're building aerobic base, you're actually training the right system.
In summary,
this was a really cool test. I think all of that was very important.
not saying it's not important. I was just asking you to wrap it up.
That was my wrap up. It's like a thesis. Gosh, this is science.
Look at the end of the thesis.
This is the science. In conclusion,
Yes.
if you're not going to like some world championship or an Olympic thing, maybe a lactate meter is not worth your money. The 180 minus your age is accurate enough. Be mindful of your aerobic warm-up. If you are in North Carolina or any of the events that I will be attending in 2021, reach out to me on my website, aprilzilg.com. Check out where I'm gonna be and book a lactate reading with me if you are worried about being aerobically deficient. If you think that this is cool, or if you think that, you know, there's more data that you need, but you don't want to drop the $400 on the meter, yeah, let's do a lesson and tag on lactate reading. It's a thing now. It wasn't a thing before this video, but now it's a thing. We've done it. It's fun. It's super cool. It's really insightful. I had fun. In summary, that was lactate threshold testing with April Zilg, Salt Life and Puakea and Garmin. It's down there.
It's over there.
Team Rider. Follow me on YouTube.